Hey everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and last night was Oscar night. The 97th Academy Awards was out, and here's my general recap of things and reaction to things, and gotta say, that was one of the best shows in a long time. Man, I was really excited, and I'm really excited to say that because, man, this is the first time in a while where it really felt like things were like really working. Beyond just who won and what deserved, and there was a lot of deserved winners, but like the vibe of the show was different from like just the presentation alone. It really goes to show if you get a actually funny host who loves movies, loves talking about movies, and also continuously goes out of his way to give praise to the behind the scenes team that make his show work, then yeah, you wind up with an award show that feels like an actual celebration of movies and not an obligation. Which that's honestly the best you can hope for any Oscars. Like I really don't think I've seen this much excitement for an Oscars probably not since like 2019. But I feel like we're always been chasing that high. When Parasite just came in and swooped and did a big sweep. But even so, I think even last year's Oscars was pretty good. Jimmy Kimmel notwithstanding. You had a lot of deserved wins. There was a lot of excitement, and I feel like a kind of a continuous, for the second year in a row, we have a bunch of very deserved wins and a lot of excitement, and really feeling that excitement. And honestly, like even from the start, where you had like this really nice tribute to LA. They went through a lot with like the fires and stuff, and you have Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. They're coming out, and they're just angels on the microphone. My God, Cynthia Erivo can sing. My God, absolutely, very very excited to see her sing the rest of the Wicked songs for good. And honestly, Conan O'Brien, I knew he was gonna crush it when they announced he was gonna be a host. Man, he was so great. He was so good. Honestly, really funny. Honestly, just one of the funniest guys of the late night talk show guys. But him, Andy, and it felt very sincere. Again, he loves movies, and you can tell. Even when and I loved how most of the show they were not doing any pithy jokes about or nasty asides about how these animated movies are all they're just there for to bore your kids with, or nobody actually saw The Brutalist because it was 3.5 hours long. I mean, even when Conan did make Brutalist his long joke, it still came off like he really liked The Brutalist and wanted people to see The Brutalist. And him ending his opening bit with this honestly touching sincerity and love for the movies before segueing into a big silly musical number, I knew I was in good hands. He should host forever. He should have more hosting gigs than Billy Crystal did. Or I at least want him to get to Whoopi numbers. But on the other hand, I was honestly hoping against hope that I would see the masturbating bear on Oscar stage, but at least we got the sandworms from Arrakis, which was great. It had a little tie and everything. Shortly after that, we kind of got the first hiccup of the show, where they were presenting for Best Supporting Actor, but they didn't play acting clips, and that bugs the hell out of me. And it clearly upset everybody else too, because and what was especially odd about it was that they didn't do that for supporting actor or actress, but they did do that for lead actor and actress. So why make that divide, unintentional or not? And it feels probably unplanned, because definitely felt, because it kind of felt I don't know if anybody else got this, but it definitely felt to me like somebody saw online oh, they're really mad we didn't show clips. We better show clips the next time around. And they just kind of worked it, but they were doing this is like sort of like celebrity comes out, past winner comes out, and they talk about, they hype up the performance, the actors and stuff, and all the performances. But like we need to see their performances, I thought that like 5-man presentation was fantastic, with using like the movie stars to spotlight the below the line craftspeople who bring the movies to life. They had like all these all these stars who starred in their respective movies. Like you had like Bowen Yang for Wicked, and John Lithgow for Conclave. They talked about their costumes, which, by the way, that John Lithgow bit, that was great. That was fantastic. It's easily memeable. Just a freebie. That was one. Yeah, I thought that presentation was wonderful, and I think they should keep doing that. But for the acting or even the writing and directing categories, just show us clips, show us B-roll if you have to. But just do the clips. But anyway, best supporting actor, Kieran won. That was completely expected. He swept basically everything. Even though I was hoping a little bit that Guy Pearce could take it, but like, nah, this was Kieran's to win. He totally crushed that speech. We're off to a great start. And following quickly, we had Flo win best animated. Hell to the yeah. Finally, like it's good that these lesser seen, lesser, like more indie budgeted animated movies can take the big prize, when it's almost by default given to like Disney, Pixar, occasionally, like every so often, like, I don't know, a Studio Ghibli, but like even when Studio Ghibli wins, it feels like a solid achievement. Like when last year The Boy and the Heron won, and I want to believe that Guillermo del Toro making a plea for animation to be taken more seriously, a couple of years back, I feel like that might be showing some dividends. Again, last year, The Boy and the Heron won, Flo this year, his Pinocchio movie won. Let's keep that streak a chugging, shall we? As far as like my predictions win, I mostly pretty good. I think I had like 18 correct choices, but I completely whiffed my guesses on the shorts. Those are always a stab in the dark for me. I'm never able to see those just because of where I am. But bringing back to that costume design presentation, Wicked took costume design as expected. Also, Paul Tazewell, I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's either Taze or Tazwell. The first black man to win that award. History always being made. And again, absolutely deserved win when those costumes were fantastic. Oh, and speaking of costumes and best dress, the best dress of the night for my money goes to Coleman Domingo. Like, if you see him in that red suit handsome, his husband's a lucky man. And onto original screenplay, Honora took the first win of the night. And of course, Sean Baker had a nice speech, and then the Conclave Hive finally went home with something, with Best Adapted, which deserved, really good. Moving on, they brought out June Squibb. She is adorable, and The Substance took home makeup and hair. Honestly, I wished it got more, but sometimes with Oscars, especially with like some movies that get nominated for Oscars, I'm honestly just glad that they're there, Then we get another weird moment where they had a tribute to James Bond, which was really weird because, like, they did that like a couple of years ago for the 50th anniversary. I don't think it's the 60th anniversary, and it would have made sense if this was like a moment to like celebrate, Broccoli and stuff. They won the Governor Award, like I think this year or something like that. But it was kind of weird too. They didn't just do like a montage. They did the montage of like the Bond movies, and then they did like a dance number with Margaret Qualley, which then led into a Bond theme medley. Doja Cat, but then you also ended on Skyfall not being sung by Adele. That was weird. And but I, and the rest of the internet, frankly, was treating it like a funeral for the franchise before Amazon strips it for parts, which it's not going to be the same. It's just not going to be the same. But on the next of my notes, one of Conan's greatest moments for me was his bit about CinemaStream, which was a place where you could go as a group to go stream movies, and you don't need to turn it on. The movie plays for you. And it's just him reading streaming services for absolute filth, and even got the god Martin Scorsese in on it. That's a king, absolute king. I approve of pro movie theater propaganda. For speaking of movie theater, speaking of the movies, movies are edited, and editing went to Anora, which was really interesting because Sean Baker with this one sort of basically secured like a legendary win where he won the most Oscars in one night. He like tied it with Walt Disney. But Anora won like Sean Baker won 4 in one night, which by the way, that's as many Oscars and I think more Oscars than Steven Spielberg's entire career, which is kind of nuts to say, but maybe also speaks to the quality of Anora. I really can't wait to watch that damn movie. And also, a director's editing your own movie, that's a flex. That is, you don't see that terribly often winning at the Oscars. And on to Best Supporting Actress. We had Zoe Saldana take home Oscar Gold for Avatar: The Way of the Water. Congratulations. A1 be praised. But yeah, it was Amelia Perez. Like, I can hold two thoughts in my head that Amelia Perez sucks and Zoe Saldana absolutely like crushed it in her performance. I've never seen Zoe Saldana not do amazing, even in like the Marvel stuff. She's marvelous. Then you had a great Ben Stiller presenting production design, just still being funny. It's crazy that guy has made Severance, which has just been crazy lately. They can't wait for that to sweep the Emmys next year. Yeah, that went to Wicked, which you know what, deserved win. I think Nathan Crowley really did great work, even while being actively sabotaged by his colleagues on the cinematography team. Then you got Mick Jagger came out, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought that he retired, but hey, he's still around, looking pretty good for 81, and he won for presented for Best Original Song because Bob Dylan couldn't be bothered. And yeah, this is another one went to Amelia Perez. Like, if you were betting that Amelia Perez went home empty-handed, you were not backing the wrong horse. Like although I do think, as far as numbers go, it probably was the biggest loser. Like, it won like 2 out of 13 nominations, which there have been bigger losers. Like some have had close to that many and went home with nothing. But even so, no. And oh Jesus Christ, the lady who also, like, the presentation for this was weird because they didn't play the songs at the show, which good. Most of those, which good. The Mia Perez songs were bad, but like when they were doing like a and the nominees are they were showing the songs, but they had the song writers and composers like talk over the song. That was really weird. And oh my God, Jesus Christ, that lady who sang in the mic, that was the cringiest moment. That was the cringiest moment of the show. Like, I hated that moment as much as people hated Adrian Brody's speech. But you know they were halfway, and like and they were halfway through the show, and Conan made a fucking killer joke. It was like, we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile. Just Drake catching strays. You love to see it. Honestly, could have sworn I saw Kendrick Lamar appear behind Conan O'Brien like a JoJo stand at that. Oh man. biggest, hugest win of the night, honestly. I didn't think it would happen. No Other Land won Best Documentary Feature. Like, oh my God, just, I huge moment, huge, I honestly just sighed. I sighed and sank in my seat. I almost fell out. It was huge relief. Amazing moment to all the people who stayed seated and didn't clap. Get fucked. And a powerful speech too. And it's not just an important movie because of what the movie's about and who's given this amazing speech and for what reasons, but also because this is a movie that no distributor would touch. No one wanted a movie that presented the horrors of what Israel was doing to Palestine, even if it came from both Palestinian and Israeli voices. And I want to quote this tweet from IndieWire critic David Ehrlich, who really succinctly puts it: "No Other Land now has more Oscars than it did distribution offers. A great and enduring shame on the American film industry. Free Palestine forever. Second and third, all of that." But now I feel like there's almost now an obligation to get it a distribution, and maybe with hope, maybe someone like Mubi could distribute it. They've been amazing at bringing global cinema to your homes, and here's hoping. But hey, if it's when it got the recognition, I can't wait to see it myself. So after that, we have back-to-back wins for Best Sound and Vis FX for Dune 2, and honestly, totally deserved. But honestly, I was kind of rooting for Kingdom of the Apes, justice for my monkeys. Following this, after that we had the In Memoriam section, and Morgan Freeman, he came out visibly fighting back tears, talking about Gene Hackman. That was lovely. And honestly, it was a touching In Memoriam reel. I'm not gonna be honest. And I legit got choked up seeing David Lynch there. I am a little disappointed they didn't do a more of a thing about David Lynch, since he was such a beloved director. And also I really like that little tribute that Isabella Rossellini did. She wore blue velvet, which and her plus one was Laura Dern. That was so sweet. I could have cried. Again, I was getting choked up seeing David Lynch up there, but they played Mozart's Lacrimosa. Are you sure? It was extra weird for me because my brother and I literally just watched Amadeus the night before, so it was an insane choice. Because the memoriam section, it's usually just you're supposed to be thinking I miss these names. I'm sad that we aren't going to see James Earl Jones or Dame Maggie Smith or Tony Todd, who was not in the memoriam section. There's always one that gets left out at least. But I'm not supposed to be feel overbearing despair for my mortality. Was Billie Eilish busy? Because now would be the perfect time you bring out a Lady Gaga to sing softly on a guitar or something. But it was weird. It was so weird. It was crazy. But hey, big night for the Psychos, who have that track in their Spotify top fives. But anyway, regardless, that was one of the weirder moments, and it was kind of around this time that I felt things were starting to feel a little kind of go over time, which apparently for some people Hulu sort of crashed. Well, not crashed, but cut out the broadcast and went on to American Idol or something. It didn't happen for me, but I don't know. No, and it's funny that the show ran a little long, despite the fact that it started early, an hour earlier than they usually do. But and of course you had you had Conan do that joke about the speech is running too long, and other people, and like you had in his musical number, he's like promising not to waste your time, but also like we still do that. Like you can always expect it to run over time, even when you're cutting out people's speeches like the moment they get up to the mic, and or even like doing a Bond tribute for like no other reason. Like even my dad, who's like the biggest Bond head I know, was like, why? But why that? But anyway. After the in memoriam, the Brutalist finally gets an Oscar, and it's a very well deserved. And they gave it to a guy named Lowell. Hell to the yeah, like Lamau even. But yeah, good night. Lowell Crowley won for best cinematography, very well deserved. The movie is gorgeous, absolutely one of the best looking. And after that came maybe the equally biggest, almost the biggest sigh of relief of the night. I'm Still Here beat out Emilia Perez for best international feature. Thank God. Viva la Brazil. Yeah, like I've had family who did missionary work in Brazil. Any win for Brazil is a win for my family. But honestly, I was shocked to realize that this was Brazil's first ever win for this category. And like, they're actually shut out of the nominees most of the time, which is crazy to think. Like, I mean, I do know that like the Academy tends to really favor like French, the Italians, and Japanese films a lot. Even Iranian films sometimes too, which is great. But yeah, it's crazy that Brazil gets shut out so much. Like look at the history. They're like they get like they don't even get nominated. It's crazy to think. Moving. And also, it's weird that the international feature win goes to the country and not the filmmaker that is representing the country, which is, it's an odd technicality. I'm not sure why the Academy hasn't changed that yet. But moving on, The Brutalist took Best Original Score, absolutely deserved. That score is just incredible. Daniel Blumberg is a genius. Also, speaking of music, pleasant surprise, Whoopi and Oprah came out and did a lovely tribute to Quincy Jones, which, yeah, like, absolute legend. Like, they did one for the Grammys, too, obviously. But, although it was a little odd, he wasn't, like, a huge Oscar winner, I don't think. But, they had Queen Latifah performing Ease On Down the Road from The Wiz, which, you know what? Yeah, absolutely brought the house down. Like Quincy, I think Quincy deserves that kind of tribute, and I'm never mad that Queen Latifah's here. But yeah, that was unexpected surprise, but a welcome one. And then after that, we had Adrian Brody win Best Actor again, wholly deserved. This was like, I have no complaints here. He is like, his performance really was that great, and I did have a sneaking suspicion maybe Timothée Chalamet could have won. Could have snuck that win, but like, yeah, totally fine that Adrian Brody won. A lot of people are really mad at him for the speech, to the point that I feel like I've legit seen some people think that he should have his Oscar taken away because his speech went so long. On the one hand, shutting down the orchestra is a baller move. Like, I always approve of that, but it felt like when he did, it felt like he tried and failed to get his train of thought back, and it just kind of petered out at the end. So it just came off like, racism is bad, right? He could have salvaged it if he just made out with Cillian Murphy, but I don't know. Like, I'm not too mad, but like his speech was long and kind of honestly a little full of itself, but honestly, I'm not mad that he won at all. No, after that, we finished the night with just an Honora sweep. Sean Baker snuck in Best Director, and as usual, gave an absolute fire speech. Filmmakers, keep making films for the big screen. Distributors, please focus on the theatrical release of the films. Parents, take your children to the theater. Let's keep the movie-going experience alive. Hell yes. And also, I'm so happy that an established independent filmmaker like Sean Baker, for like 20 years he's been doing indie films, has finally gotten such mainstream hype. It's so cool to see. I actually watched one of his, like, it was either one of or his first indie movie called Takeout. That was back in like 2004 or something like that. And it's such a raw movie, very clearly passionately made. It's very cinema verite, and it's it's so good. So good. Very proud of Sean Baker. Can't wait to watch Nora, especially because Mikey Madison took Best Actress, which that was like a three-way coin toss between like her, Demi Moore, and Fernanda Torres, which I honestly totally thought Demi had that in the bag, but nah, they went to Mikey Madison, which, you know, good for her. Good for her. She's really talented. And after that, Honor took the big prize of Best Picture. Very, very exciting to hear. I hear it's totally deserved. I heard nothing from very reliable sources that this is the second year in a row that the most deserving movies actually won. And yeah, that's pretty awesome to see, especially on Oscars. That's just so cool. Let's keep that going. Let's keep this celebration of movies alive. Let's bring it back. Let's bring those clips back, and let's bring Conan back. Seriously, let him host forever. Let him host until he dies. Let him die hosting. Let Conan host. Have him die on stage, and then have him be continue the rest of the show with his Force Ghost. That would be great. And yeah, that'll do it for me. I thought this was a great. And it felt like a fun Oscars too. And yeah, that'll be it. Can't wait to watch Honora one day. Yeah, I'll definitely be making that part of my New Year's watch list purge. But yeah, until then, I'm Zach. I like movies. I got plenty of movies to watch more, and I will see you all later. And keep watching movies and keep taking care of yourselves.